Meredith Calloway had learned long ago that the quietest people in an office were usually the ones actually holding it together. And on a gray Tuesday morning in Denver, she proved that once again by catching a classification error in a shipping manifest that would have cost her firm, Ashcroft Logistics, a six-figure penalty from a federal auditor. She sipped her tea in the far cubicle by the supply closet, dressed in a simple charcoal blazer and pressed trousers that had nothing to do with fashion and everything to do with the fact that she had learned, in a previous life working alongside government inspectors, that sloppy appearances invited sloppy assumptions about your work. At exactly 8:15 that morning, an email blasted through every inbox in the building from Priya Okafor, the newly minted Director of People Culture, announcing a refreshed professionalism initiative that vaguely condemned outdated tailoring choices without naming names, though everyone in the compliance wing understood exactly whose closet had inspired the memo. Priya had disliked Meredith from the moment she discovered, 6 months into her own tenure, that the unassuming woman in the corner cubicle out-earned her by a comfortable margin, despite never once raising her voice in a meeting or angling for a promotion, and that quiet imbalance of power had curdled into something petty and personal. Meredith spent her morning the way she spent every morning, cross-checking export documentation against federal handling codes for a defense subcontract that almost nobody else in the building was cleared to even read the cover page of, let alone process. Tucked inside a reinforced pouch in her bag sat a badge she had never once mentioned to a coworker, a small black rectangle earned through 8 grueling months of background investigations, polygraphs, and an unannounced visit from 2 government agents who had asked her neighbors uncomfortably specific questions about her recycling habits. By late morning, Priya had recruited her assistant Dale, a nervous young man who carried a laminated dress code chart like a religious text, and the two of them cornered Meredith near the break room to inform her, in tones dripping with false sweetness, that her vintage aesthetic was sending the wrong signal to visiting clients. Meredith set down her tea, looked Priya directly in the eye, and told her plainly that Section 22 of the Federal Compliance Addendum superseded any internal wardrobe policy Priya could dream up, a fact Priya clearly had not anticipated, and one that left Dale fumbling with his laminated chart like it might rescue him. The confrontation escalated by early afternoon into a hastily scheduled meeting in Conference Room B, where Priya, flanked by Dale and a visibly uneasy operations manager named Curtis Nash, informed Meredith that her employment was being terminated effective immediately for a documented pattern of non-compliance and insubordination. Meredith scanned the termination letter without flinching, noted that not a single line referenced her flawless work record, and asked calmly whether they understood that dismissing her without notifying the federal liaison assigned to her clearance was itself a violation they would not enjoy explaining later. They marched her out with a cardboard box too small for anything meaningful, past coworkers who suddenly found their monitors fascinating, and Meredith tucked her badge into its shielded sleeve with the same careful precision she used for everything else in her life. She'd barely settled into a lobby chair to wait out her final paperwork when the glass doors swung open and 2 federal agents in matching charcoal suits strode in, asking for the CEO by name, their posture alone silencing the entire front desk. Within the hour, Priya and Curtis were being grilled inside that same conference room by Agents Whitfield and Ossie, who explained in clipped, unforgiving language that terminating a cleared federal contractor without proper notification had triggered an automatic audit that now threatened the company's entire 7-figure defense contract. Priya emerged pale and trembling, her mascara streaked, while CEO Marcus Ashcroft came barreling out of his own office, offering Meredith her job back with a hasty 15% raise, an offer she declined with a small, unbothered smile, telling him that no raise could buy back the respect his company had thrown away that morning. As Meredith walked toward the parking lot, Agent Ossie caught up to hand her a plain cream business card with nothing but a name and a number, explaining that the government routinely reassigned specialists like her to new contractors whenever the old ones proved they couldn't be trusted, and Meredith slid the card into her pocket beside her badge, feeling for the first time in months like the ground beneath her was solid instead of borrowed. She drove away without a single glance in the rearview mirror, knowing that somewhere behind her a company was scrambling to explain to the federal government exactly how they had let arrogance override common sense. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends and family. We create entertaining and inspiring stories for our viewers, and your support helps us continue making great content for you.